War doesn't always begin with bullets. Sometimes it begins with a single decision. A decision that can open a path or throw an entire army into darkness. In a land where the rain smelled of blood and the cold fog swallowed the cries of the wounded, a commander stepped forward who relied not on reason, not on experience, not on caution, but on something soldiers feared: luck. He saw the battlefield as a casino, where a single brilliant moment could create the illusion of power, and a single mistake could send thousands of soldiers to nameless graves. That night, as maps were spread on the ground and a flickering lantern illuminated muddy lines, it became clear that Potiorek held a die that could, if it fell wrong, decide the fate of an entire front. And he rolled the die. Episode 17.5. Oskar Potiorek, the man who gambled with a front. Nothing about Potiorek was ordinary. Even his walk had the rhythm of a man who imagined success instead of seeing danger. In a world where commanders sought the safest path, he sought the hardest path. Where others died from caution, he thrived on the thrill of risk. Scene 1. The gambler arrives. 1914, Serbia. The mountain fog hung like a curtain, hiding the battlefield from view. Officers were anxious, soldiers weary, and an army still breathing, but without hope. When Potiorek arrived, his eyes sparkled, not with fear, not with experience, but with the gleam of someone ready to discover hidden treasure in chaos. He didn't place the map on the table. He spread it across his knees, like a magician searching for a secret path through the mountains. Officers asked, "Sir, where should we attack?" Potiorek smiled. "Where the enemy thinks we'd be mad to go." No one yet realized this sentence was the opening of a deadly gamble.
Scene 2. The first bet.
He believed in the narrow mountain passes, in routes only goats dared traverse, and in tactics no military textbook would ever dare to print. When the first attack was launched, soldiers couldn't tell if it was brilliance or madness. But the early results were astonishing. The Serbs retreated, bunkers cracked, and the Austro-Hungarian army felt that perhaps, finally, someone had broken the mountains. Behind the lines, generals whispered of a phenomenon, a man who could pull sparks of victory from the jaws of defeat. Yet every gamble has its golden moment and its hidden abyss. Scene 3. Collapse of a wager. When the roads turned to mud, he didn't slow the attack, he accelerated it. When supplies ran low, he said, "We must move faster. If we stop, they'll catch up." But war has rules. Its rule: no one escapes the reality of logistics. The Serbs returned, not as an ordinary army, but like a wave of rock and wrath. Suddenly, everything collapsed. The lines that had twisted through mountains like snakes were cut. Soldiers who had marched with pride yesterday fought today for a single boulder. On the central hill, as Potiorek looked through his binoculars, for the first time, his face held no spark of courage, no spark of hope, only the glare of a man realizing his gamble was nearing its end. Scene 4. The Man on the Edge. 1915. Nothing remained. No morale, no ammunition, no replacements for losses. Yet Potiorek still searched for the last card. He told his officers, "Until the very last moment, there is always a way." But this time, there was no way. Only weary soldiers, broken commanders, and a front that was breathing but barely surviving. For the first time, Potiorek understood that some wars are lost not by courage, not by genius, but by reality. And he had lost to reality. Scene 5. The legacy of a risk-taker. Years later, historians struggled to label him. A bold commander who, if circumstances had aligned, could have been a genius. Or a reckless leader who sent thousands into paths that existed only on paper. Potiorek was neither fully hero nor fully villain. He was the human face of gambling in the theater of war. And war is never kind to gamblers. Preview, Episode 17.6, Karl von Planzer-Balten, the general who fought with what he didn't have. In the next episode, we meet a man who, unlike Potiorek, had no risks, no resources, no luck, but action. Karl von Planzer-Balten was a general who built walls from empty soil, fortresses from broken lines, and power from a worn-out army, forcing the enemy to question what he actually commanded. Down. To see the story of genius born from scarcity, don't miss episode 17.6. And if you haven't yet, subscribe now and hit the notification bell so you'll be the first to watch the next episode. Stay tuned, the story continues.